講關於中部21句子誓語經，咁英文咧就simile of the shore， simile of the shore。 Yes, from there please。 56頁啊，56 56頁。
I'm going to start with number 9.
Number 9? You mean Sutta number 9?
No, I didn't say
Oh.
Sutta number 9.
Okay, Sutta 21, number 9. Okay. Let me see. Okay. 57頁，他跳了。57頁最後嗰段喎。
Formerly monks in this same Sawati, there was a housewife named Vedika.
喺嗰度咧係講緊一個故事，就係個社會城裏邊有個婦女，佢叫做韋蝶希國韋蝶希國。
And a good report about Mistress Vedika had spread thus.
咁咧佢有嗰個 Vedika 咧有一個好好嘅聲譽嘅傳播緊。
Mistress Vedika is gentle. Mistress Vedika is meek. Mistress Vedika is peaceful.
咁佢嘅聲譽咧就係嗰個 Vedika 咧，佢話佢係好柔和㗎。亦都好謙厚㗎，同埋咧好平和嘅個人，好好嘅。
Now Mistress Vedika had a maid named Kali who was clever, nimble, and neat in her work.
咁呢個 Vedika 咧有個女僕有個工人咧叫做 Kali， 佢咧好精巧伶俐又唔懶嘅，做嘢好整齊好整潔嘅。
The maid Kali thought a good report about my lady has been spread thus.
Kali 話：我個女主人咧佢一向都有咁好嘅聲譽，喺度傳播緊。
Mistress Vedika is gentle, meek, and peaceful.
咁我個主人咧，佢又柔和啦，又謙虛啦，又好平和嘅個人。
How is it now? While she does not show anger, it is nonetheless actually present in her.
我個女主人咧，佢內在咧，從來都冇存有呢個憤怒，佢唔會顯露出嚟嘅喎。咁究竟係咪咧？
Or else it's just because my work is neat that my lady shows no anger, though it's actually present in her.
或者係咪即係因為我做嘢做得好做得好整潔所以我個女主人咧，佢入邊係唔會存在呢個憤怒，同埋佢都唔會顯露出嚟咧？
Suppose I test my lady.
我即係試一試佢啦。
So the maid Kali got up late.
咁啊，卡莉咧就嘗試咧幾晏啲啦。
Then Mistress Vedika said, "Hey, Kali, what is it, madam? What is the matter that you get up so late?"
咁嗰個主人咧，佢話：卡莉，你做乜咁晏都唔起身啊？你有咩事啊？咁
Nothing is the matter, madam.
卡莉話：冇嘢啊，女主人。
Nothing is the matter, you wicked girl, yet you get up so late.
咁你冇事嘅喎，點解佢起嗰個天亮啦，你仲唔起身啊？你做乜嘢啊？
And she was angry and displeased, and she scowled.
咁佢個主人咧唔高興啊，又發脾氣啊，佢咪皺起眉頭。
Then the maid Kali thought, the fact is that while my lady does not show anger, it's actually present in her, not absent.
咁個卡莉咧就諗：咦，我個女主人咧從來都唔暴露佢內心嘅憤怒，咁其實佢有嘅喎。
And it is just because my work is neat that my lady shows no anger, though it's actually present in her.
咁其實咧，佢唔顯露佢嘅憤怒，唔係唔存在喎，只係因為我做嘢做得好啫喎。
Suppose I test my lady a little bit more.
咁啦，我再試一試佢添啦。
So the maid Kali got up later in the day.
跟住卡莉又再晏啲起身。
Then Mistress Vedika said, "Hey, Kali, what is it, madam? What is the matter that you get up still later in the day?"
咁佢咧就同卡莉講：卡莉啊，你做咩事啊？又唔起身啊？咁樣，做乜咁晏？越嚟越晏先起身啊？
Nothing is the matter, madam.
冇嘢啊，女主人，冇事啊。
Nothing is the matter, you wicked girl, yet you get up later in the day? And she was angry and displeased, and she spoke words of displeasure.
咁樣鬧卡莉啊！冇事，真係唔似樣啦！你咁差嘅，你呢個咁嘅女僕人，越嚟越起得晚，咁跟住咧佢就表露得好憤怒，有好多不滿，同埋講啲唔好嘅説話啦。
Then the maid Kali thought, the fact is that while my lady does not show anger, it's actually present in her, not absent. And it's because of my work.
卡莉咧就咁諗啦，
The lady shows no anger, though it's actually present in her.
我個女主人咧，其實佢嘅心嘅內在咧，佢係有憤怒嘅，佢唔係唔存在嘅，不過佢冇顯示出嚟。由於我做嘢做得好，其實咧我個女主人咧心裏邊咧係存有憤怒，佢唔露出嚟
Suppose I test the lady a little further.
咁我不如再試一試佢啦，再新啲試下添。
So the maid Kali got up still later in the day.
跟住佢再晏咗起身啦。
Then Mistress Vedika said, "Hey, Kali, what is the matter? What is the that you get up still later in the day?"
咁嗰個佢問阿卡莉：喂，卡莉啊，你做咩事啊？做乜越嚟越晏起身啊？真係唔似樣啊！你而家
Nothing is the matter, madam.
卡莉話冇嘢啊，女主人。
Nothing is the matter, you wicked girl. Yet you get up still later in the day? And she was angry and displeased, and she took a rolling pin and gave her a blow on the head and cut her head.
佢話冇嘢，你真係唔似樣啊！你呢個咁差嘅女僕， 佢越嚟越起得晏，好啦，咁啊好嬲啦嚇，跟住咧好唔滿意啦，就攞起嗰個門閂咧，當頭棒喝打破嗰個卡尼個頭。
Then the maid Callie, with blood running down her head,
卡尼咧
denounced her mistress to her neighbors.
卡尼咧咁啊頭破血流，走去隔離屋咧就投訴訴苦。
See, ladies, the gentle ladies' work. See, ladies, the meek ladies' work. See, ladies, the peaceful ladies' work.
請你睇下嚇，平時係咁柔和嘅人咁樣做喎，打破我個頭喎，你哋睇啦，咁謙虛嘅人都係咁做，咁平和嘅人都係咁做，打破我個頭。
How can she become angry and displeased with her only maid for getting up a little late?
咁啊，你諗下我個主人竟然我而家瞓覺瞓得晏啲，竟然可以咁嬲，攞個門閂打爆我個頭嘅。
How can she take a rolling pin and give her a blow on the head and cut her head?
咁你諗下，攞個門閂係兜頭打落我個頭度，打破我個頭。
Then later, a bad report about Mistress Vedika spread thus.
咁由此以後咧，咁啊而家呢個嗰個主人咧就臭名遠播啦。
Mistress Vedika is rough. She is violent. She is merciless.
話嗰個 Vedika 咧，呢個咁嘅女主人咧好兇惡㗎，好殘暴㗎，完全都唔平和嘅人嚟㗎。
So too, some monk is extremely gentle, extremely meek, extremely peaceful, so long as disagreeable discourses of speech do not touch him.
同樣咧，呢個比喻就講到我哋啲比丘平時表現得好柔和啊，好謙虛啊，好平靜啊，但係只係因為咧冇啲唔如意嘅嘢觸及到佢。
But it is when disagreeable courses of speech touch him that he can be understood whether that monk is really kind, gentle, and peaceful.
你要睇呢個比丘咧，係咪真係好柔和啊，好平和，同埋好謙虛啊？你要睇佢係咪當佢係唔如意嘅嘢咧，觸及佢嗰陣嘅反應係點咧？
Okay, now go to 11. It's the next page. Monks, there are these 5 courses of speech that others use when they address you.
比丘話有5種説話，當人哋咧對你講嗰陣咧，你要用5種嘅法語咧去對待。
That speech may be timely or untimely.
咁咧其實係喺適當嘅時機啊，或者係不適當嘅時機咧。
True or untrue.
真實咧或者不真實咧。
Gentle or harsh.
柔和咧或者粗暴咧。
Connected with good or connected with harm.
隨住係有利益嘅或者係冇利益嘅咧。
Spoken with a mind of loving kindness or with inner hate.
以個慈心去對待啊，或者用個內親去對待咧。
When others address you, their speech may be timely or untimely.
當他人對你講話，佢係適當時機定係不適當嘅時機説咧？
When others address you, their speech may be true or false.
當他人對你説嗰陣，佢係真實嘅或者係唔真實嘅咧？
When others address you, their speech may be gentle or harsh.
其他人同你講時，佢係柔和嘅或者係粗暴嘅咧？
When others address you, their speech may be connected with good or connected with harm.
當他人對你講，佢係隨伴住有利益性嘅或者唔利益性嘅講咧？
When others address you, their speech may be connected, spoken with a mind of loving kindness or with inner hate.
佢哋同你講，佢係用慈心去同你講啊，定係喺個內親入邊講咧？
So you should train
你
thus.
要咁樣去練習啦。
Our minds will remain unaffected,
我個心咧唔會被影響嘅，
and we shall utter no evil words.
我哋唔會講任何嘅惡語。
We shall abide compassionate for their welfare with a mind of loving kindness without inner hate.
我哋咧係以一個咁嘅悲心悲憫他人，以他人嘅利益同埋咧慈心而不內親。
We shall abide pervading that person with a mind imbued with loving kindness.
我哋咧將個慈心擴大遍佈然後咧係俾呢個人。
And starting with him, we shall abide pervading the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will.
咁以佢為所願，以呢個人為所願，將呢個慈心咧係廣泛咁散播出去，廣大嘅、無盡無量嘅，完全冇任何嘅怨恨，以無敵意嘅心遍佈整個世間而駐立。
So what is that saying? Anybody that you're talking to,
咩意思咧？當你
whether they're
同人講
being
嘢，
gentle or harsh,
佢對你點樣都好或者柔順或者惡嘅，
you radiate loving kindness to that person.
你就咧散發慈心俾佢。
And you use that person as the reminder
你就當佢係你一個即係提
when
醒
you
你
walk away
當你離開，
to send loving kindness to all beings
然後咧就
and
radiate
smile
散發
and
嗰個
give
慈
that
心，
smile away.
散發慈心俾所有嘅眾生，俾世間無量大嘅。
So it really doesn't matter what somebody else says to you.
唔好理人哋講乜嘢，冇乜問題嘅。
It's only their opinion or their emotion. It doesn't really matter.
佢講嘢可能係佢嘅情緒或者佢自己嘅意見，冇乜問題嘅對你嚟講。
You send loving kindness to them. Their mind will become nicer.
你散發慈心俾佢咧，佢嘅心咧會變得好啲嘅。
And then use that person as a reminder. Okay, now let's do that for everybody.
係啦，就利用佢咧作為你嗰個所緣然後咧就散發俾所有嘅人。
The more you keep loving kindness in your mind, the more you affect the world around you in a positive way.
你越將呢個慈心咧保持呢個慈心含住咗嘅話，你越能夠影響到全世界嘅人。
Somebody yesterday tried to tell me that if I send loving kindness to them, they don't want it.
佢即係琴日有人小三話：喂，我散發慈心俾佢唔想要喎。
There's not one person in the world that doesn't want to be loved.
呢度呢個世界所有人都需要愛，冇一個人唔會需要嘅。
So practice your generosity and give that to them.
係啦，我哋懂得咧做布施就咁散發慈心俾佢啦。
It's real important for you to remember to do this.
要記得記得咁做啊。
Now, there's going to be times that you are going to forget,
有時你會唔記得嘅。
and you'll get knocked off balance for one reason or another.
有時咧心理有時唔平衡咁因為咩事發生過。
The more you sit in meditation with an uplifted mind, the easier it is to remember to let that go, because you're causing yourself suffering.
多啲練習打坐咧，將個心咧 uplift， 即係變得輕安咧你就容易察覺到自己個情緒容易咧記得做呢件事。
So I don't care if they're yelling at you.
唔好介意人哋咧就咁喺度憂即係嘈。
I don't care if they're lying to you.
唔介意佢講大話你。
Send them loving kindness that will help soften their mind.
輸送散發慈心俾佢咧，咁佢嘅心咪變得柔軟。
And this is really, really important.
真係好重要，好重要。
especially now that you're going back to Hong Kong.
而家尤其翻香港啦而家咁嘅情況One day you have to go
No,
with us
you
to
don't
radiate
try.
loving kindness to Hong Kong people.
You do it.
佢話唔好 try 喎 ，just do it 喎。We are not that powerful, but then you have to go as well. So violence now in Hong Kong. I saw the news. Horrible. Yeah.
No, you need to practice and get confidence in yourself.
要鍛鍊下自己產生自信心啊！
It's important.
重要啊，重要。
And there are times when it's better to radiate equanimity
有時用寫心咧散發出去都係好嘅。
because that helps people put perspective into their mind. That helps their mind be more balanced.
佢嘅心咧會變得平靜下。
So, especially when there is some kind of stressful situation,
尤其是咧係好緊張啊，嗰個情緒嗰陣。
I have been in a car when I saw an accident.
佢曾經試過咧喺個車度睇到人哋交通意外，
Now, a lot of people come running and try to help,
有啲人咧都不知所措咁跑嚟跑去，都唔知點幫手。
but because they're so excited, they don't help very much.
反而
They
咧，
cause more problem than they help.
反而佢越緊張咧越幫唔到手啊！即係佢自己茫然咁啊，越幫越忙。
So what do?
佢係點咧？
I stop the car.
啊，
I don't get out. I don't run over and try to help them.
佢淨係停咗車，佢又唔係出去點樣幫手。
I start radiating either loving kindness or equanimity.
咁喺架車入邊咧，佢就自己散發慈心，或者散發呢個捨心出去俾佢哋。
And in 1 or 2 minutes, all of a sudden they stop running around and stop doing the wrong thing, and they start calming down and doing the things that are most helpful.
咁1-2分鐘後咧，佢散發慈心或者嗰個捨心，佢哋咧唔會慌張啦，慢慢平靜落嚟咧，做啱啲嘢，唔會做錯嘢啦。
I've seen this happen many, many times.
好多時都係咁樣。
And it's not because I'm so powerful.
不是他是
That's
什麼
her
很強
wrong
大
idea.
是我的錯誤，我以為他很厲害。我係咪講過嘢
No, I'm not.
？Yes, one day.
So before long, they get people out of the car if they were stuck in the car, and they're helping.
那他們就懂得停下車然後呢，怎麼去幫他們
And that's doing that with a very calm, directed mind.
用一個很平靜很直接的心去幫忙。
There's no time
沒有時間，
that you are helpless.
沒有從來不能說你不能幫助
You can always help.
你們經常能幫助其他人。
You can help people that are sad. You can help people that are depressed.
人家有失落人家受傷不開心悲痛那個時間，
All you have to do is love them.
你就去愛他們。
Don't fall in love with them.
不是
Just
掉進
love
愛
them.
河，只是無條件去愛他們。
Women especially, if you
女人
radiate loving kindness in the eye with men, they will misunderstand it, and that's a
女人
problem.
要小心哦，不要用你的眼睛散發慈愛，然後看着那個男的，他會誤會你的哦，他會墮入愛河的哦。
So don't do that.
不要用眼睛去愛
Just
哦。
have your eyes down.
這眼睛要往下看，當你散發慈心那個時間最難重。
Now, when you were sending loving and kind thoughts to your spiritual friend, I said it had to be somebody of the same sex.
為什麼我們一開始鍛鍊那個慈心 说一定要同性的女性找女性，不可能找其他
Why,
男性。
why would you do that?
为什么是这样子呢？
Because if you send some loving kindness to a person of the opposite sex, you will become infatuated with that person.
因为呢，很容易呢，你对那个男众呢起了那种
And,
对那种懒惰、淫浊、两种的心。
and then you'll start thinking about how you're going to get married and have all of these wonderful things happen.
堕入爱河，哇，想结婚啊，要追求你啊，滴滴答答这样子。
If you haven't figured it out now, I tell you to do things for very specific reasons.
你知道吗？叫你做什么事情都有特别的理由。
That's what I try to get you to follow the directions as closely as you can.
所以为什么要你们遵守他的指示，要一模一样的，不能更改他的。
So you won't cause yourself any kind of problems.
你不会为了锻炼慈爱变成有麻烦。
Again, we talked about sending loving and kind thoughts to someone that's dead.
然后呢，也说过了，是那个慈爱发给一个亡者。
You can do that when you're not on retreat.
你只可以在外面，不是在现在我们 retreat 里头做。
The person has to be alive
现在你们做的一定是
in
活
order
的。
for your mind to go deeper.
这个能帮助你们在深入禅定。
So it's kind of an important thing.
这些都是重要的提示。
I know that there is some wrong ideas in Mahayana that the only meditation that you should do is mindfulness of breathing.
现在呢，普通的大乘的那个教导禅修，就是用呼吸法，
Now
正念作为正念。
you saw how fast your progress was with practicing loving kindness.
现在你们看到吗？你们用那个慈爱、四无量心，是不是比任何的方法快？对不对？效果这么好。
And the Brahma Viharas.
就是这个四无量心慈悲喜舍。
To get to this same place when you do mindfulness of breathing will take you 6 weeks of continuous retreat.
你知道吗？如果是达到这个效果，用呼吸法的嘛，可能6个星期，不断在做，可能会达到6个星期。
Or even more.
还可能多一点时间。
So one of the reasons that I like to teach loving kindness and the Brahma Viharas is because your progress is so fast.
为什么他要叫慈悲喜舍？就是因为它很快有效。
Now picture yourself as being an egg.
想象你们就是一个鸡蛋。
And I'm going to come along and I'm going to put a crack in that egg.
现在你的脑袋好像鸡蛋壳一样，把你敲开了。
That's what my job is.
他就是做这个动作，帮你们敲开你的脑袋。
You want to get out of that egg, you have to work to get it out.
但是你现在那个鸡蛋有裂痕，但是你们自己要努力怎么把。
But I gave you an opening so you can do
他帮你
that.
开了窍，开窍。Let me touch.
Some people think I'm a little bit hard on them because I demand that you do it. I don't want you to run away from
有些人觉得他很凶
simple things to let go of like pain.
有些人觉得他很凶要求他怎么样3个小时、4个小时这样子凶猛的。
A lot of you now have such confidence that you know that you can do more and you know that you will be successful.
现在大家都提起那个信心知道这个是有的做起来的，可以做的，自己能完成的。
And that makes me happy.
这样呢，他会很高兴。
I'm easy. You can make me happy just by smiling more.
很容易让他开心，笑多一点就行了。
So,
所以呢
Practice more. Do that.
do that 啦，要So thank you for all this teaching and the way you teach is
The
really
way
appreciate.
you thank me is by being successful.
你们要让他开心，就是你们很成功的进去这个禅修的状态。
I've had many students that could see past lifetimes, and they said that I've been a teacher for many lifetimes.
有些学生懂得看那个什么前生的，说他已经当老师当了好多生了。
Not necessarily a Dhamma teacher, but I could teach mathematics and language
他当老
and
师不光是讲法啊，像是数学啊，什么都有教。
astrology and all of those kind of
历
things.
史啊什么他都有教。他当老师很多世了。
So I've been teaching for many, many lifetimes.
很多生很多世都是教人的。
And I'm always trying to get so that I can give you the simplest language that you can understand.
他永远呢都是用最简单的、最现考的语言来帮助你们明白。
So the way that you really make me the happiest is by being successful and being happy and leading a life that has more fun in it.
最容易让他开心，就是你本人能够开心，能成功的进去一个更高的层次，然后带领其他人同样开心，达到最高的层次。
There's nothing to get in your way from being happy.
没有东西让把你拉开，不能开心，什么都可以开心。
Except yourself.
只有你才能拉走。
So pay attention more closely to how you cause your own pain.
留意一下，什么东西让你们自己不开心呢？
Laugh with it.
对着这个东西笑吧。
There's no reason to get serious about anything.
没有理由对所有事情都这么严谨的对待。
Then life will become magical.
然后呢，你懂得这么笑自己的话呢，生命就很奇妙的。
And you will help other people to laugh too.
你也可以帮助其他人笑啊，大笑啊。
Okay?
OK，
You're gonna do it?
你做了吗
Okay.
OK 了。
So you don't need me to come to Hong Kong.
那你
You
不用答
know
我
what to
每
do.
个人都知道了。
You're happy, right?
Yeah, just a young baby. Of course, meet you. Just baby, only few days baby. 只有幾天嘅 baby 啫嘛，你哋。
Oh, just be intelligent and keep smiling.
都笑多啲聰明啲咁。
Have fun.
玩得開心啲。
Okay, so I'm going to go to another section here. And this is number 20.
Number 20. Number 20, Bhikkhu is the 最后一段60最后一段60页60
Monks,
OK
even if bandits were to sever you savagely limb from limb. Let's cut down on the talking.
60 page 60最後一段即使嗰啲咁嘅強盜，佢攞把鋸嚟鋸你個身體。
He who gave rise to his mind of hatred towards those who have would not be carrying out my teaching.
咁喺呢度咧會使心咧係野怒 呢個咧唔係我嘅教導。
Herein, monks, you should train thus.
喺度咧，比丘們，你哋應該係咁樣學習。
Our minds will not remain unaffected.
我哋嘅心將唔會受影響。
And you shall utter no evil words.
我哋將唔會講惡語。
We shall abide compassionate for their welfare.
我哋咧要用一個憐憫嘅心，希望其他人有利益。
With a mind of loving kindness.
慈心而不內憎。
Without inner hate.
而不內憎。
We shall abide pervading them with a mind imbued with loving kindness.
我哋將你嘅慈心咧廣泛咁散佈去radiate， 即係去俾嗰個人。
And starting with them, we shall abide pervading the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued with loving kindness.
以他為願呢，就將呢個慈心呢，一路咁樣去散發出去，無邊無際。
Abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without any hostility and without any ill will.
係啦，咁捨棄嗰啲惡意嘅心，冇一個怨恨嘅心，而只係個內心充滿慈愛，散發到去無邊無際整個世間。
That is how you should train.
呢個呢，就係你應該要練習嘅。
We had some signs made by some professional designers. And we have that on the walls so that you can see that and remind yourself to be kind.
有啲咁嘅語句啊，即係貼喺個牆度。
Radiate loving kindness to everyone.
廣播播 radiate 去俾眾生全世界。個聲大家沙發。
Why don't you talk a little bit softer? That way nobody will hear you.
I want to cry because you're leaving. We all miss you, but then you're not coming to Hong Kong. You're not promised us. That's the problem.
Monks, if you keep this advice on the simile of the saw constantly in mind,
你們呢，如果是好似呢個咁嘅句子，譬如呢個教訓呢，你哋成日記住。
do you see any course of speech, trivial or gross, that you could not endure?
咁你哋會知道啦無論嗰啲惡語啊、粗啊、幼嘅語你哋都唔能夠忍嗎？係咁。
No, venerable sir.
唔會嘅，大德。
Therefore, monks, you should keep this advice on the simile of the saw constantly in mind.
比丘們喺呢度呢，你哋要經常作意記住呢個咁嘅句子譬喻嘅教誡。
That will lead to your welfare and happiness for a long time.
你哋呢會得到長久嘅利益同埋安樂。
Now, one of the things that I haven't talked to you about with the precepts that you take is that the precepts are a kind of protection for you. You will not die from an accident. Or from violence. You will die a very calm death. Now, there are certain advantages to keeping the precepts that I have had. I used to be contractor, and I would go up very high places, and I would make sure things were being done correctly.
佢以前係啲建築嘅承包商，有時咧成日爬上爬落去都好高嘅地方。
One time I fell off the roof
有一次咧，佢跌咗落嚟喺個屋頂。
because I kept the precepts. My mind said, "Relax your body."
因為佢曾經係經常係保持個持戒清靜嘅，當佢跌落嚟嗰陣咧，佢話 relax 鬆開啦咁樣嚇。
But I made a mistake.
但係佢都有做錯事。
I put my hand down
咁佢隻手咧就撐住佢。
and I broke my wrist.
咁咧就斷咗。
I wasn't hurt any other way.
其他嘅身體各部分就冇事。
I had a man working for me that he did not keep his precepts at all.
咁有個幫佢做嘢嗰個人咧，佢又唔係好守戒嘅。
His mind got really excited and he didn't know what to do.
那个人他就是很紧张的，不知道怎么做。
And he ran over to me and he said, "Are you hurt?"
他走去他面，你有伤害吗？你有痛吗？
I said, "Well, I think I broke my wrist."
我想我是破了我的手腕了。
So this is what he did.
他就这样子，他拿起他，然后再把它吹一下，明知他已经断了，他还这样做。
I told him that it was better if he went a long ways away from me.
你最好是马上离开，滚开吧。
And he actually broke some more bones in my wrist.
他把那个弄得更碎了。
But when I was younger,
当我年轻那个时候，
I used to like to climb trees.
他经常去爬树的。
We used to play tag and that sort of thing when we climbed trees.
很喜欢爬来爬去的。
And one time I was up higher than the roof.
有一次爬到好像天花板这么高。
And I stepped on a branch and it broke.
那个树枝它插上去，就断了。
And I fell down.
它就掉下来。
Now, as I got almost to the ground,
差不多到地面那个时间，
my leg caught
那个脚刚好卡在那个树
Y
枝
like
上面，把它挂住。
And I very slowly came down. I didn't hit the ground. I was about that far above the
刚刚好
ground.
只有大概10圈的，它的刚刚好就顺序这个掉下来，没有撞到那个地上。
Now that happened because I keep precepts.
它是守戒，所以
It
要
is
保
a
护
kind
它。
of protection.
是一个保护力。
I know other people that could have died from that.
有些人可能呢，
They
因为
land
这么
on
高
their
掉下
head
来会
and
死亡。
that's it.
你知道守戒这么重要了。
So it's a very interesting thing that you really do protect yourself and you know what's the right thing to do at the right time,
知道了。
especially in a stressful situation.
现在有这个戒课呢，保护你之后呢，你知道在适当的时候你就会选择适当的事情做，就不会带来伤害。
I have an aunt that does not keep precepts very well.
他有一个姑妈还是怎么样
She
不喜欢守
likes
戒
to
的，
gossip a
喜
lot.
欢讲是讲非的。
Her 12-year-old daughter was eating an olive and it got stuck and she started losing oxygen.
然後呢，她12歲的女孩吃了那個olive 叫有欖子啊，
So
橄欖啃住個喉嚨，呼吸唔到，呼吸不來，然後呢，她不知所措，不知道怎麼做。
So what did my aunt do?
她怎麼樣呢？她的
She got up, she ran out of the house, ran down the street saying, "Help, help,
她
help."
只是跑出去，拼命的跑出去，拼命叫救命啊，救命啊！
And I was right behind her and I got this girl and I just pushed real hard and she spit it out and she was fine.
她就在後面把她捶一下這樣子，讓那個 吐出来就搞定了。
That's the difference between keeping precepts and not keeping precepts.
这个就是看出来守戒的人跟不守戒的人就区别了。
She could have died
他可能会死的啦，12岁那个
because her mother didn't know what to do.
但是他妈妈不知道怎么做了，
And I scolded her pretty
他就
pretty
骂他
strongly
哇
because
很严厉的
she
骂他，
insists to keep gossiping.
因为他经常是是非非的。
So it's a real important thing to understand that when you keep the precepts, there's great benefit.
记得哦，守戒呢是很有利益的，
And your mind becomes, it almost becomes magical
那个心好像有摸索一样的，
because you start thinking about something. And then when you think about it, it all of a sudden happens.
当你想事情哦，有奇妙的，他会自然浮现给你的，
She knows.
他知道。
One of my students in America, he and I are kind of close psychically.
有一个学生，两个他跟他都同样都有神通的，
And he'll have a thought of something happening, and then I'll have a thought of something happening, and then it happens.
他想东西要成就，他也想一个东西成就，结果真的成就了这个事情。
There was one time I was in Australia, the shortest day of the year,
就在去欧洲，
cold.
很冷很冷那个时间。
I came from Malaysia. I was not ready for cold weather.
他从马来西亚去，不知道这么冷，在澳大利亚，
I had no socks,
他没有袜子穿上去，
and I had to walk a long ways to go to the monastery that I was going to stay at.
那个时间要走很远去那个寺院住在那里，
My feet got really, really cold.
他的腿很冷很冷很冷，
The skin was turning blue.
哇，那个变成蓝色的。
So as I was walking, I started thinking it would really be nice to have a pair of socks.
想一下，哎呀，这么冷呢，最好是有着袜子穿就好了。
Okay. So as soon as I got to the monastery, that was one of the first things the head monk gave to me was a pair of socks, and I was happy.
他一到了那个寺院，马上那个主持人就给他一个袜子穿了。
And 4 or 5 days later, I had a dozen pair of socks.
4、5天之后呢，人家送给他超过1搭的袜子给他。
And to this day, I can't turn the socks off.
得
They keep
到现
coming.
在，每天就收很多时间收的袜子，人家寄给他。
At one time, somebody gave me 24 pairs of socks.
哇，有一次那个人给人送他24对袜子了。
And the odd thing is, what you give to somebody, that you kind of get back.
哦，这是奇妙的哦。
So I give socks away and I keep getting socks back.
他不断给袜子出去，不断有袜子顺来。
I've walked around many times asking the devas, stop bringing me socks, I don't need any more.
他听到那个天神说：“哎呦，不要再给我袜子了。
I think they do it because it's funny to them. ”
他们觉得这样子好玩呢，送多点袜子给他。
So, the more you practice smiling and giving your smile away, the more smiles you will get.
一样，同样道理，你跟对方笑多一点，把笑容送给所有的人，那你的回馈就是多一点笑容给你。
The closer you keep your precepts without breaking them, the more magical life becomes.
一样的，同样的，守戒的，越守得好的话，更多奇妙的事情都会发生在你的身上。
You start seeing more and more beautiful things.
你看东西越来越美。
Now, one of the things that I like to do when I'm at home
他
is
在
I
家很
talk
喜
to
欢
wild animals.
他很喜欢跟那些小动物那些野生动物讲话。
And there's a rabbit that likes to run around at certain times of the day, and I get to talk to him.
有的时间有个兔子啊，经常跑
And
在他附近
he's
跑来
not
跑去。
afraid of me. He can be as close as you are.
他不害怕他走得很近的跟他。
And I ask him about how everybody else is doing.
他就问他，哎，兔子啊，现在其他人做成怎么样啊？
There was an animal that was called a groundhog.
他很想看到那個關殼係嗰啲咩帶 BB 嗰啲叫咩殼啊？
He's
咩殼
about
啊嗰個
this
灰
big.
殼啊？
And
天殼咩
he just eats grass and that sort of things. He's not a
殼
problem
唔係
at
殼喎
all.
唔知咩啊？
And he disappeared one day.
佢話有時咧又唔見咗佢喎，好有段時間唔見咗嗰隻小動物。
And
Groundhog.
I didn't see him for almost a week.
有一個禮拜唔見到佢，呢個星期未看到他。
So the next time I saw the rabbit, I asked him if he could go talk to the groundhog because I missed the groundhog.
他跟小兔說：“哎，我懷念那個關殼啊，可不可以告訴他？”
The next day, the groundhog was there.
哦，第二天那個關殼就過來了。
And I talked to him for a little
也
while.
要跟他講一些話，
Told him, don't stay away so long.
不要走得太遠啊，經常過來找我。
But we have deer, we have pigs, we have
我們有
many
豬
different kinds
有
of
那個
animals.
很多小動物，野生動物，到處都
We
是。
have this animal that's called a chipmunk.
有一個小動物叫 chipmunk，
He moves so fast that you can't see him move.
你
You
看不
see
到
him
走
here, you see him there, but you don't see him going there.
他跳得很快，你基本看不到怎麼走，
Amazing.
很厲害，很
And it makes me smile.
那經常看小動物就開心。
And the last time I was here,
上
I
次他在
bought
這裡，
a dinosaur.
他買了一個恐龍，
So
鹿
now
頭
we
的恐龍。
now we have a dinosaur.
他在他的藏收地方又有恐龍，什麼小動物、大動物都有。
We have pictures of it. Go to my website, you can see.
去他的網站，你就看到他的恐龍。It's a baby dinosaur. You have to get a giant one.
Not a baby dinosaur. He's as tall as you are.
It's still baby. 佢喺度買，好中意買嗰啲咁嘅嘢，木嘅。
Okay. Do you have any final questions? You're going to be
請問有-
leaving tomorrow morning early.
請問還有其他問題嗎？因為你們明天就離開了。
Yeah.
Is there matter how many precepts you keep? Is the more precepts you keep, the better, or
5 precepts. That's all you
守
need.
戒守多少啊？是不是越守多越好啊？但是五戒就夠了。
I have 227
他有
precepts.
227，
Some of those precepts have to do with eating.
很多都是維繫的，怎麼吃，什麼樣的。
One of the precepts said that you don't put more rice in your mouth than the size of a peacock egg.
哦，有一個戒就是說，你那個飯量，
So
一
that
口
your
飯量不要大過那個 peacock 嘅雞蛋。
so your mouth is way over full.
不會這樣子啊，對 peacock 那個雞蛋可能這麼大吧，就是飯量不要塞得這麼滿。
In India, when they eat, quite often they wind up licking their hands.
印度人吃飯啊，就用手吃嘛，
Very dirty,
這個也
not
不
good.
行。他們有
So
這
the
個
Buddha
戒
said that's one of the rules you have to follow.
不要這樣子吃，不禮貌。
Some rules are very easy to follow, some not so easy.
有些戒很容易守，有些不容易的。
One of the kinds of footwear that they used to use was a piece of wood and it had a knob on it.
以前呢，他们穿拖鞋是木头的，然後有個扣在上面。
And you slide it in between your toes and you hold them. while you walk.
2个脚这个夹着他这样子走路，
Very painful.
哇，很痛很痛，
You can't walk very far when you do
走
that.
不来的，这个要慢慢走。
So the Buddha said, don't do that.
所以呢，佛陀说，不要了，不要穿这个。
One of my favorite rules that I always thought was peculiar is that the Buddha said you should never give a Dhamma talk to someone that has a knife in their hand.
有一个戒呢，就是说，千万不要跟一个人拿刀子的跟他说法啊。
That makes good sense to me.
这个是能理解的哦。
So there's a lot of rules that I have that are very easy to follow like that.
有些戒是很容易遵守的。
Yeah.
睇經可唔可以瞓喺張床度睇㗎？
He said, can she read the Sutta while is laying on the bed?
Yes,
可以啊，
I do it all the time.
他经常做的。
You're not showing disrespect.
不是不尊重啊。
Okay?
如果有很多人他不是学这个法的，但是他们本身已经很久很久守这个 perception， 就是守这个戒，他们也有同等的保护力，对不对？
She's asking if someone they are not follow us to learn the Brahma Vihara, but they keep the precepts very well, so they got protection as well.
Yes,
对啊
of course.
Of course 啊，肯定的啦。
Yeah, this is universal. It's
这是宇宙
not
法
like
则啦。
the Christians. They say you have 10 commandments. You have to follow that. If you don't follow it, the God is going to throw a lightning bolt at you and kill you.
不是，好像基督徒，你说只有10戒，你不守的话，他有下面的天神把你打的雷劈死你。
These are more suggestions.
这个其实说只是一个提议，你们要好好的守戒，
It's
清
more
净。
more suggestions than it is commandments.
不是说 commandment 啊，不是那种有罪的那种是守戒。
And
只
you
是
can
说
you can see for yourself.
你们要知道能看到的这个效果。
You know, it's real interesting. I had a friend when I was growing up, and he liked to steal things.
有一个朋友从小到大的，他很喜欢偷东西，
And he would steal a large amount of money, and it would disappear very quickly.
他偷人家钱，偷很多，但是呢，他消失的也很快。
He was feeling guilty because he did it, and he just wasn't careful with money.
因为他内心是有这个罪垢的，所以呢，他发钱要乱发。
So after a while, you start paying attention, and you go, well, if I do that, it's not going to last very long, and I'm not going to get any benefit from it. So why do that?
知道了，如果是破戒，你这样做，发现呢，那个效果不好的哦，不是长期有一个好效果，那你以后就醒觉，那我以后不这样做了。
There's a sutta about not only keeping the precepts, but how karma actually works.
有个经文呢，他讲到怎么持戒，跟那个业报是怎么样形成的。
And it's quite interesting.
那个书者是蛮有兴趣的。
When I was in Malaysia, I always ask at the end of a Dhamma talk, do you have any questions?
马来西亚他经常讲经，最后他一定问你们有问题吗？
And I had a lot of young students, and they were taught you never ask questions.
但是那个学生都是年轻的，
That's
他
the
们被
Chinese
教导
way.
中国的教导说，不要去问问题。
So I got tired of that because I knew they had questions.
但是很烦恼啊，很累啊，这样子，因为他们有问题都不问的。
There's one thing in here about karma that says, if you don't ask questions of a monk or ascetic, your next lifetime, you're going to be reborn stupid.
他先说有经文说好像是38，如果你们不去问问题了哈，问那个蒙啊，或者问其他有智慧的人，将来你下一生是愚蠢的，你出生就变成愚蠢的。
Now, when I started taking care of Usilananda,
他照顾他的老师顾西尔兰德，
I didn't know anything about Buddhism.
他那个时间什么都不懂，
So I was continually asking him questions,
他每天都问这个老师的问题，
sometimes 20, 25 a day.
哇，每天超过25个问题问他，
And I did that for 2 years.
2年都不断的这样子问问题。
And finally I asked him a question and he stopped and he looked at me and he said, you know, in the suttas it says that if you ask a lot of questions, you're going to be reborn smarter than Einstein.
今天有讲了，如果是你不断问问题，问这么多问题，你将来下生比那个爱因斯坦更聪明啊，更聪明爱因斯坦。
So the way karma works, what you do, that comes back at you. I have students that are continually asking me questions.
这个业力就是这样子它会影响你下一个阶段的。再有一个学生经常问他问题。不是
She gets confused with Mahayana and Theravada sometimes.
我很搞乱了那个大乘跟那个这个上座部的问题。
Anyway. So right after I told them that, they started putting their hands up. They wanted to ask
他先讲之后
questions.
呢，他们很害怕，哇，马上举手问问题啊！所以你们要懂啊，现在反应过来。
Okay.
他说你们没有问题啊，有一个问题了。You see, now they start asking questions.
如果我们放生有功德嘛，然后我们要怎么样放生才是最好的？
他问no. So she's asking, is the true that is a quick benefit to set the life release? Yeah. So release the life. 放生係咪啊？英文係咪啊 ？Release the life.
What does that mean?
還有放生，set the animal free.
Yeah, oh yes, that you get much good merit for that.
Yeah, 很有功德的。
The bigger the animal is, the more merit you get.
最大的动物，你越放生越有功德。
Now there was a Western lady that came to me right after I became a monk.
有一个西方的女士，
And she told me that she had cancer and she was going to die in 6 weeks. What could she do so that she would be happy?
她说她有 cancer， 6个月就要往生了，她怎么做了？有什么方法呢？
I told her to go out and buy animals that were going to be killed
去买一些
and
香味
let
给杀
them go
的，
free.
然后呢就放生它。
So every day she went down to the fishing boats and she bought bait fish, still alive.
她买一些活的鱼去放生，
And she threw them in the water.
把它放进水里头。
And the fishermen thought she was crazy,
那些渔夫看到她，以为她傻的，
but it started making her mind so happy
她的心很高兴。
that, as far as I know, she's still alive today.
到现在还
Giving
生哦，
life is high merit.
没有死掉哦，所以放生是一个很大的功德。
Now there was a lady that she was really good meditator.
有一个女士，她打坐很好的，
I
长寿
didn't have to
很好
get her to sit long. She sat long, all on her own.
不用去 叫他打坐长时间，他自然打得很长时间。
And I left and I came to Indonesia.
然后他去了印尼，他离开
Then
了。
when I got back, the night I got back, I got a telephone call from her, I'm going to quit meditating.
他有一期他离开他回到他还在哪里打坐，然后他告诉他要
Wow.
不打坐了，为什么？
So I said, why?
为什么呢？不打坐？
And she said, I don't know. I just don't want to meditate anymore. It's too hard.
我就是直接想，我不喜欢打坐了，太辛苦了。
So I said, what precept did you break?
你破什么戒？
Oh, I didn't break any precept.
我没有破戒啊。
I said, no, you cannot quit. You have to sit no less than 1 hour every day.
你每天都要做1个小时，你不可能的不做的，什么问题呢？
The next day she called up and she said, I'm going to quit.
第二天他打电话来说，哎，我不做了。
I said, come on, tell me, what precept did you break?
你究竟破了什么戒呢？你要讲啊。
She said, actually, I know which precept I broke.
其实说我知道我破了什么戒。
She said, I like to keep a very, very clean kitchen,
我很喜欢干净的厨房，
and I don't like ants.
我不喜欢蚂蚁。
And she just got through cleaning the kitchen, and all of a sudden there's a line of ants.
当他洗这个清理那个时间，一排蚂蚁在那边。
So she very carefully swept them away.
他就把它扫掉。
And then they came back.
他们又回头。
And she tried sweeping them away again without killing them.
那本来他就不想杀，他就慢慢把它扫走。
And they came back.
又回来，
And she got mad.
他就生气了。
And she went and she got some spray to kill the ants.
就拿了个喷的，把它喷死的。
And she said, ever since then, I cannot sit.
从此之后呢，他打坐打得不好。
I said, okay, now we know what the problem is.
那我知道了，现在问题所在哪里？
I said, what I want you to do is I want you to go to where they sell chickens,
啊
go to the
你现在
butcher, and buy 2 chickens, don't kill them, take them out to the forest, let them go free.
然后他叫他去买2只鸡，把鸡放生，去森林里头放生，
With the idea of letting go of the guilty feeling
去
of killing those ants.
去救赎他曾经杀个这些蚂蚁的过错。
She had two girls.
他有2个小孩，女
One of them was 3 years old, one of them was 5 years old.
3岁到5岁。
So she went and got some chickens, and she didn't kill them. She put them in the back seat and went out to the forest, and then she let them go free.
然后呢，他真的去市场买了几个鸡，然后呢去了森林把它放走。
Now let's take a look at what was happening in the chicken's mind.
然后那个鸡是什么想法呢？你猜猜？
Okay, whenever the butcher got a hold of that chicken, all of a sudden the fear of death was on that chicken's mind.
其实说那个斩那个汤那个一抓那个井，他们其实那个鸡是很恐惧的。
The chicken knew that it was going to die because she'd seen so many other chickens die.
他已经看到其他鸡在死的，他知道肯定会死的了。
But the butcher didn't kill the chickens, but tied their feet up and gave them to the lady.
但是那个屠夫他只是把那个这个鸡的脚绑好，然后就交给那个女士。
Now, she cut the string and let the chickens go free, and they only went a short distance and turned around and looked at her.
他把那个绳子松开，然后让他走，他鸡会回头看他。
The chicken went from the worst day in their life, they knew they were going to die, to the best day in their life because they were going to live.
那鸡呢，从一个最恐怖的那个时刻，将会死亡的时刻，变成一个自由的时刻。
And all of a sudden, she let go of that guilty feeling of killing those beings.
然后呢，那个女士也是当下她马上松绑了她那个伤害蚂蚁的那个罪。
When she went home,
她回家之后
she could sit for 4 hours.
她超过4个小时能做。
The thing was, her kids really liked the idea of letting the chickens go free.
问题呢，他们小孩跟着她去放生，他们很喜欢这个概念，很喜欢放
So
生。
once a week for a period of time, she had to go buy 2 chickens and let them go free.
从此之后呢，每改一个时间一个星期，她要去买2只鸡去放。
And then the kids said, well, let's give them some food too.
放它之前还买一些吃的给那个鸡
So
吃
he took some corn and gave it to them.
给那个玉米，给它
Well,
撒给它
they need
吃。
something to drink, so they got a little bowl and put down with
然后
water
把
in it.
水也把它安顿好肯定它有水，有那个米糠那个粟米这样子。
So that was a major lesson, not only for the lady and her husband, it was for her kids too.
变成呢，不是只教育她跟她老公，而是小孩呢看到也去同时教育她孩子。
So it's real easy to make your mind uplifted by
救
by
赎
doing
生
that.
命呢，很容易让你的心愉快、清安。
In Burma, there's a picture of a water buffalo.
在缅甸有一个
And I'll tell you about
图
the
样，就是那
story
个
of
水
that.
牛。这个故事是这
The
样的。
farmer had a pregnant water buffalo.
那个农夫有一个怀孕的水牛。
He needed to get some seeds and that sort of thing, and he had to sell the water buffalo.
他要买一些种子，然后他要卖掉那个水牛。
So he sold the water buffalo to the butcher.
他卖了那个水牛给那个屠夫。
The water buffalo had been around for quite a while and had seen the monk going out on alms round, and she really liked that monk.
水牛呢，就是走来走去，看到有个梦有个出家人走过来跟托钵，他很开心。
She knew that the butcher was going to kill her the next day
他知道了那个屠夫第2天要把他砍了，
and kill her calf.
然后他的小 baby 也会死亡的。
And she had the fear of death in her,
他有死亡的恐惧。
and she sent a thought to the monk while he was sleeping, and he had a dream of her asking him to not be killed and not kill her child.
他能在梦境去告诉那个梦那个和尚，叫他不要找那个人说不要去杀他那个小孩，他的 baby。
So the monk went around, and instead of collecting food for himself, he asked people for money so that he could buy her and her calf and let them go free.
那他这托钵呢不托吃的，他托钱，问人家拿钱
And
去买回那个牛。
he did it.
他买那个赎回那个牛跟那个 baby。
Okay, so
That's all how-
as she was starting to realize that she wasn't going to be killed, she knelt down in front of the monk.
那个牛知道他不会被死亡被砍掉，他就叩头跟那个那个蒙和尚叩
And
头。
somebody took a picture of it.
有人也拍照，
It's a very famous picture.
很有名的一个照片。
And then she went out into the forest and he never saw her again.
那个牛就是去了，新人就不见了。
I always liked that story. I
他
thought
很
it
喜
was
欢这
great.
个故事。
有关放生的问题我有一个很疑惑在里面，就是说香港也有很多祖籍一起去放生的然后他们呢其实就要扎这个动物，然后如果不放生的话，其实他们不会扎它，就是因为它有这个生意。
The question is, there's a lot of organization like a group of people in Hong Kong. They have a lot of ceremony of doing this life relief, but they catch they catch the fish or catch the fish, catch it and then release it. So
Sell it and then release it for that purpose. If not that purpose, and they don't need to be catch.
yeah. So what is the purpose?
Yeah, that is
Well, they're still giving life.
still.
Yeah, there's benefit from that.
Still benefit.
Yeah, in
Doesn't
Thailand,
know,
what they do is they catch birds and they
在
train the
泰国
birds to come back. Now that I don't
在泰
like.
国他们也抓一些鸟来飞放生，那个鸟会飞回来。
So that's not so good.
No, not only fish that's being released. When you release the fish in unfriendly water, they die, and they become predators to bigger fish, and they don't survive. I saw it. They just dump it in the water, and they all die because the water is so polluted.
Well, you have to do it in the right way. You know that they're gonna die. So, but the thing is, there was a lake right by where I was, so people were continually buying fish to let them go free. And then they started allowing people to go fishing there. And they no, it's not a problem. Because you let that fish go free. Now it's his karma what happens next to him.
放生，它旁边有一个湖，很多人呢就放生，放那个鱼在湖，然后呢就有些人你钓鱼，把它钓回去。但是有什么效用？它说还是有的，因为当下你放生，它有这种感觉是救赎的。然后呢，以后它是它的业力所牵，它的命运是怎么样？
You made that fish very happy letting him go.
当下那个鱼是很开心，让它走。
And you let go of whatever thing that you feel guilty about.
当你有什么自己的忏悔啊那种，
It's that fish's
就直接也可以消掉。
karma, what happens to it next.
但是它的
But
业力
throwing it in a place that they're gonna die, no, I don't go along with that.
但是你
It
们要
has
聪
to
明一
be
点
out
啊，
in
不
the
要
ocean.
乱放啊，那个鱼放到正确的地方，不要把它放死，没有责任啊。
I have a problem in modern places, in apartments. They have this business of fumigating the houses in order to get rid of pests like cockroaches, ants. They all came and they fumigate the wall. Now, how big is that karma?
Big. It's big negative.
大家有些喷那
They're
些
finding
小
out
小
now
小
that
小
there's
昆
all
虫
kinds of things that you can do that the cockroaches and ants and that sort of thing, you can make it unpleasant for them so that they leave you alone, but you don't have to kill them.
那蚂蚁啊，那些曱甴啊，你不用杀它，你就让它不喜欢在这里走就好。
If you cut cucumber up very fine and put it on a plate
青瓜啊，把它切得
where
小
the
小的。
cockroaches are, they don't like that smell.
青瓜它们最
They'll
不喜
leave it
欢的
alone, but you have to do it every day.
嗰個曱甴咧，他們會自己離開的。
Ants don't like cayenne pepper.
嗰
You
個
put
ant
cayenne
呢就
pepper down, they won't cross it.
cayenne pepper 咩椒啊，咩
Cayenne.
紅椒啊 ，cayenne
It's
pepper
red
紅椒啊
pepper.
係咯紅椒咯。螞蟻啊，螞蟻不喜歡紅椒，你放紅椒在地下，它不會爬過來。
So there's a lot of things that you can do that make it unpleasant for them to make it go away.
不用殺它。
Yeah.
好，請問，
如果我们是在家里，我们要在那边做工，我们不是去喷蚊子，我们就喷一点蚊油在那个周围，赶走蚊子，犯结嘛。
It's like so many mosquitoes. They just spray a little bit and just try to let them not coming. Is
Yeah.
it? Is it okay?
If there's ants that come on the table, and right now there are no ants there, I can spray it and they won't come.
就是大概好像蚂蚁过来这里，这里没有蚂蚁，它就碰在这里，碰在它还没来到那个地方，就是它要路过，你就碰在前面，它一闻到了，它会退后，这个是不犯戒。
我们先把它赶走，没有了，我们再喷一点这样。
But if you go to Google, you can find out a lot of ways to get rid of pests.
对呀，去上网带很多这个方法去防。
We catch mice all the time.
抓那个老鼠。
We give them some peanut butter to eat.
给它花生啊，买花生酱啊。
And they go in, they can't come out. Then we take them a long ways away and let them go back into the forest.
他用花生酱去捉这个老鼠，但是呢，他不杀它，他拿出很远很远的放生。
That's you got rid of the mice, the rats in your place, but you infest other people.
I live on 100 acres of land. I can put them where nobody else is there.
他有100亩地，这放到哪里都只是远一点就好了。
But then it's not practical in our country where it's all so crowded. We do use mouse traps, but we kill them all.
Well, and then you're going to suffer for it. So don't do that. Find another way of taking care of it.
香港是高楼大厦的，不能放在外面的，所以呢，有的时间就是要把它杀了。
Take them into China with you. Let them have it.
You let them immigrate to China. Oh, good idea. 带他去中国，放在中国就行了。But they will cook the mice. They know how to cook it. 他们很喜欢吃
Nothing I
老
can
鼠
do
的。
about that.
还有问題嗎？
我試過有陣時同啲雀仔傾偈啊，或者同啲小動物傾偈啊，咁有人話咧，唔好同啲動物咁 close，即係咁連繫，因為咧你下一生又要做動物。
She enjoyed talking and speaking to some animal, but the people want her not go too close, associate with those animals. Otherwise, your next life will become animal.
No, that's not true at all.
这个不可能的，他说。
Not unless you start acting like those
除非
animals.
你变成你的动作就像一个动物。
There were people during the time of the Buddha, they started acting like a dog, sleeping like a dog, eating like a dog, and they were reborn a dog.
也就是在佛陀那个期间，就是有人好像动作啊什么的跟狗一样，那结果真的到往生就变成狗了。
But you have to act like them to become them.
这个行动是这样子就可能變。那 Kimi 咧 ，Kimi 嘅問題咧？
我想問咧，其實就係喺 meditation 裏邊咧，咪有個要啲念頭起嗰陣時，揾到個源頭念頭起嗰陣時，跟住就鬆開佢咯 ，relax 咯。咁咧係鬆開個念頭就係斷咗個 dependent of origination。
你好似問過呢樣嘢㗎，同佢 interview 嗰陣。
喺 meditation 裏邊做咧，係咪可以斷咗嗰個緣起？因為個業力冇咗。但喺 meditation 之後咧，跟住佢又就嗌。 等先，等我問咗一樣，我唔記得㗎，翻譯咁耐。During the meditation, you always, teach them when any thought, any vibration start, you just relax over them.
Right.
But saying that or doing this action, is it going to stop the karma and also stop the dependent original
It's not going to
linking?
stop the karma, it's going to make good karma.
这个 stop karma 啊，这个业力就停止，就把那个好的业力。 移过去，对。
It's not going to stop anything. Cannot. What is the word for karma? What does it mean? It means action.
Karma 係 action 啊嘛。
即係嗰個 the linking of dependent origination is stop，但係 stop。
No, it's not going to stop.
佢唔係 stop 喎。
Relax, but what is relax? Relax is just breathe.
Stop taking it personally.
relax 就是不是把它变成是我的东西，没有属性的那种。
It's not ignored. It's let go of craving.
就是把我们的贪执把它显出，贪嘛。So it's not stopping the dependent origination. Yeah.
No,
不是把你的
not
缘起法
until your
断了。
body stops and your mind stops.
你的 mind 就是 dependent origination 嘛，你怎么跟他 stop 啊？他说你死了的时间就，但也不 stop 啊。
Stop the thoughts linking.
It's not going to stop.
不会停止。
係咪同出邊即係醒咗之後 meditation 都一樣個，一樣係咁樣？
It's not going to stop.
I know, I understand. I'm just asking, after come off the meditation, still have vibration, and then is it the same effects? Same. Ignore.
No, you don't ignore. How many times do I have to tell you? Relax and come back to the quiet mind.
Even come off.
Even coming out.
Okay.
She's just concerned how to stop the dependent origination.
Stop
If you
breathing.
say,
Lose your heat and vitality.
she think relax, then all the karma disappear, and then dependent
No,
origination
it doesn't
will not work
disappear.
anymore. That's what she think.
Well, but that's not right thinking.
不对，这样讲不对。
That sounds like something you would come up with.
不要想那个，它只是显举你的那个贪念。
Okay.
可以問一個問題。頭先佢講嗰個 example 咧，係佢姑媽嘅 example 咧，auntie 嘅 example 咧。咁佢嗰個 auntie 犯錯係講是講非，但係個女受罪啃咗嗰個橄欖。咁變咗。
唔係啊，兩樣事，一個 accident。She's talking about your story. Just mention your aunt having the daughter struck by the olive. So actually, it's a two attitude to sealer, because that is the sealer the mother didn't take. But why the daughter will have the karma? It's not related.
Why? How can you even ask a question like that? Why? Why does something happen? Because conditions are right for it to happen. That's why.
他那个啃着，他就是那个条件下出现这个因缘，这成熟了，这啃着的，这两个东西吧，跟他两个人啊。
You can go crazy thinking about karma.
你如果是要听，
That's why I asked.
Well, stop.
你要问那
Don't go
个，
crazy.
我就问那个业力的问题，你会变傻的，因为你没办法的，因为你前生你做了什么事情，什么时间因缘成熟，你基本上不知道的。佛陀都有因缘成熟的时候。
Okay, why don't we share some merit?
好，我们去回去。最后那页。
May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired, for they are all coming to happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas, mighty power share this. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Now let me go. Now there's one more thing that I want you to do. I want you to repeat what I am saying.
跟他这样讲。
Venerable Sir,
Venerable Sir,
if I have done anything wrong
if I have done anything wrong
in thought, speech, or mind,
in thought, speech, or mind,
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
If I have unintentionally done anything wrong,
If I have unintentionally done anything wrong,
please forgive me.
please forgive me.
Now, please listen very carefully.
再講呢個。
I am the representative of the Buddha and all of the Arahats.
唔使跟，唔使跟。
I forgive you completely. Free your minds. Sadhu. Good. Now you can do that.
Just translate. 它代表佛陀，代表阿罗汉，代表整个僧团原谅你们这个时间人做的任何的有意无意的错误，身口意错误，一切都原谅你们。So now we do the discourse. I forgot to say, I said you are discourse.